It's okay to be disappointed. High hopes, low expectations is always the goal. But feel your feelings. It's okay to be disappointed and get to a place where you accept it just as it is. Whatever it is, the game, situation in life. That's what I'm talking about today. Just kind of wanted to come on and talk about this idea of disappointment and fandom. Stick around. I'm going to go on this walk and stick around if you're interested in this and how it pertains to Mario Kart World, which just had, throughout the day I was thinking, is it fair to say that was the worst day Mario Kart World could have had? It sounds harsh, but let me think. Could it have gone any worse for Mario Kart World yesterday? I don't think it could have. I could tell you they could have increased the price or something like that, but that's not realistic. I think I was being nice in my reaction yesterday. And, just a lot of feelings that I feel like I have to just say. And it's almost like a safe space here. If you want to post your comments, safe space, be disappointed, get out your grievances. And I'm going to get into specifically why, the specific things. But before I get into the specific things, I want to talk about basketball and the New York Knicks. There you go. Shout out to New York. The reason Sammy, why are you talking about the Knicks in basketball? I don't want to watch this video. Well, it pertains exactly to this scenario. So, long story short, New York Knicks used to be great in the 90s with the Patrick Ewing era. They got Carmelo in the early 2000s, which I loved. He was my favorite. But they haven't really been a championship contender in a long, long time. They haven't won a title since the late 70s. So last year, things started heating up with Jalen Brunson and the team. They started really getting on a run. And for the first time, you're, wow, this could be a contender team. They made it to they didn't make it to the Eastern Finals last year. But the hope was that this year we could give it a run. Next season. And they made some big trades. Got rid of DiVincenzo, which was a huge, huge statement, a huge risk, a huge move, putting all your chips on the table and saying, I'm going to get Cat, get Bridges, and kind of try to assemble the championship worthy team. Okay. And so what happened in the fan base for the Knicks is that, wow, you've really made all these moves. And now that you've done that, it's not as easy to just say, oh, well, it's kind of nice that the Knicks are at least in the playoffs again. You move from that into, oh, well, now I want you to win a title. Now the expectations become so high that if you don't make it to at least to the Eastern Finals, you're going to fire your coach and your GM. And it's like, it just happens. The expectations become higher. And a lot of people, when they watch the Knicks lose a game, as we head into the playoffs here, starting this weekend, game one's on Saturday night, if you want to get into it. Every time there's a loss, people are on the YouTube streams and they're devastated. They're so upset. Not because the team doesn't have talent or the potential. It's because the expectation is so high and we want it so bad now. People want it, man, because you put the idea out there and now you want it because you love the team. It's not because you hate the team. It's not because you're critical of the team. It's because you love them. And what's happened with me in Mario Kart, and the reason why I don't know if I can go on covering this game, is that, and just to be clear, I cannot wait to play the game. I'm so excited. But this happened to us with Mario Kart Tour already, right? Nintendo creates this incredible concept. And the haters don't get it, but all you guys do, because you all play Tour, and you get why it's so great. You get the potential there. All the things they could have done. Nintendo creates this environment where these ideas are possible, and then they fail. When they fail, it makes it hurt even more. That's exactly how it is with the Knicks, if you're a fan. And it's exactly how it is in my experience of like 40 plus years of life and like following fandoms of all kinds, like whether it was being Star Wars fan, Mario, whatever, movies, a show. There seem to be two types of fans, and this is overly simplistic. I'll just say that right now. It's not fair to be this reductive. But I've observed there's two types of fans. And one type, they will take anything you give them, and they love it. They are at Star Wars Celebration right now. No offense to any of them. Love you, Jermaine. But whatever they are given, they're going to insert expletive here. They're going to go crazy for anything you give them because it's acknowledging them. It's saying, we see you fans, we love you. This is for you. You make everything go around. And those fans are so happy to have anything done at all that they say that you can't criticize it. You can't criticize it. How dare you? You're being a hater. I've had this told to me many times in Mario Kart Tour, even though I'm one of the most positive, passionate supporters of that game. When I hold that critical eye up, people, those types of fans don't like it. And they say, you're being a hater, so negative, whatever. And you can still be a hater. So, but I'm not going to talk about that in this video, about what is being a hater. What's not being a hater is the second type of fan that is what I'm talking about with the Knicks. It's the type of fan I've always identified as. And if you're the first type, that's great, man. More power to you. If you don't ever need anything more from anything that you love, and you just are, maybe you've arrived at that Zen place of accepting everything exactly as it is, because that is the goal. The end goal is to accept something just as it is and not want more. But I'm just speaking from my experience. I think it's not only acceptable and fair, but it's important to hold the things you love to a high standard, and to want things to be great, and to want things to live up to their potential. Just like the Knicks, man, I want Brunson to be great. And if he's not, hey, he's human. And who am I to say, I'm not executing on the level that Jalen Brunson's executing with the New York Knicks. So, look at yourself too. How much perfection do you expect of something else versus looking at yourself? Are you doing everything perfect? No. So we're all human, and I get that. And the developers of Mario Kart Tour and World, they've done a great job trying to hit the bullet, the target. But what you had happen with Mario Kart World, and I've already spoken about this at length, is you have the Direct, the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. And the last 2 weeks, you've unveiled this concept of the open world Mario Kart game. That's the idea. Open world Mario Kart. That's the gimmick. Yes, there's 24 racers. Yes, there's ground tricks, but the main concept is open world. That's what it seems like. And so over the last 2 weeks, endless sky-high speculation. Because we've seen Breath of the Wild. We know how good an open world Nintendo game can be. Nintendo created the greatest, some would say the greatest game of all time with Breath of the Wild. So that's where the bar's at in one sense. But while these YouTube videos are going around the last 2 weeks of all the things you could have in story mode and everything, if you actually look at what's on screen, like I was pointing out to you guys, free roam is just a little tiny thing in the bottom right with an asterisk by it. I don't know if it's going to be a robust story mode. And the problem is, it should be. It really should be. they're selling the console on this. And by the way, the whole last 2 weeks have been also completely fraught with horrible publicity problem that Nintendo is facing with the pricing. Thanks, Trump. But it has not gone well. I've never seen this big of a publicity snafu for a company as big as Nintendo in a realm that I'm associated with. It's bad. Look at the stream. Yesterday, the drop the price spam was still going in the chat 2 weeks later. And so that is interfered with everything. And that only casts a shadow even further on this Mario Kart World situation, specifically the game being $80. I personally don't mind it being $80. I think, and you know, apologies to anyone in the comments who thought my inflation comment was not correct. I'm not an economist. I just assume that each platform is going to get a little more expensive. But people are, for some reason, $80 became that price that people can't accept. And as a result, they said, this Mario Kart Direct needs to prove to people why it's an $80 game. So Nintendo they've already got this direct, if you can even call it a direct. It was more like an extended trailer, overview trailer. They got this ready to go. It's probably already edited. They're scrambling to figure out what they're doing about pricing, which was just announced. The pricing is staying the same. That's great. You already have to sell families all across the world in America that they need to buy another $500 Switch when their kids love their Switch already. The Switch has still been selling like crazy. Even selling the Switch to your people is already a big ask. And they got this direct ready to go. And they're like, well, the question, did Nintendo know how much they had to sell that this $80 game is worth buying the entire console for? It's worth spending over $500 for. And if you really want to, get the most out of it in the way they're selling it, you need to buy the Pro Controller and the camera and all that. And most people won't. That's fine. You just play the game. But even at $500, they're saying you need to spend $500+ on this experience. And what did we get? Nothing. The lack of depth to the free roam story, I can't even call it a story mode. There is no story mode. I guess this is where we just get into the specifics. Missions existing, great. P-switches being hundreds of them, that's cool. But for what? Why? Why do them? Why spend the time to do them? Okay, you're getting stickers and decals and stencils perhaps, but they don't tell us what they do. Just that there alone, not telling us why we need those. You could even just say, unlock stickers and badges to customize your cart. That's all they have to say. But even if they said that, even if the stickers and stencils and badges are to customize your cart, what about the players who don't care about customizing their cart with aesthetic decals? I don't give a flying F about that, personally. I'm a fan. How is that serving me as a fan? Is that fan service? I hate that term because fan service implies you know what all fans want. And if you really want to open up that question of what all fans want, Nintendo, you missed the mark. All fans want Toadsworth and Egad and Funky Kong, basic main characters that at this point you have to be saving. And I'm gonna come to that in a second. But with Mario Odyssey, they had all the stickers for your Odyssey ship. I never wanted to put them on. I want my balloon clean, man. I want my cart clean. So if it's just aesthetic and it has no benefit in the race, why go out and get them? Why is unlocking carts happening through coins again? It's confirmed that you unlock carts with coins. That's exactly how it was in Mario Kart 8. But you get up to 20 coins a races now, and there's more coins all over the track. So when you have an open world where you can have missions, collectibles, panels that are just question block panels that you just touch and then they're unlocked. That's it. And you only get stickers out of this to decorate your car. Why? Why not make carts and characters unlockable that way? I'm not even getting into having events in the open world, like real-time events and all the other bosses, all of the things that, this is not just my personal pie in the sky wish list and bias. This is basic stuff that all Mario Kart fans know should be in an open world Mario Kart game and have known for a long time. Yeah, I can come on here and say I've always dreamt of a Mario Kart world game and I've been designing one in my mind. I'm not the only one. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure out what would make a great open world Mario Kart game. And the fact that we are still using Diddy Kong Racing, a game from that long ago, and fans are still saying all you have to do is follow the Diddy Kong Racing model, that is sad. The amount of innovation, creativity, talent at Nintendo, and you still are missing that whole point. You're missing that whole point. What have you done? You've given us an open world Mario Kart game that, yes, looks incredible. I cannot wait. I can't wait to play the tracks, to play the connectors, the intermissions, whatever you call them. And to go find all the P-switches, but they've missed the mark. And that's disappointing. And that's okay to say. It's important to say. Look, let's say the P-switches are just for stickers, okay? At best, you could say, all right, well, that's the equivalent of Korok seeds. There's hundreds of them, quote unquote. So if there's hundreds of P-switches, maybe there's like Korok seeds, you just got to go collect all of them, just to kind of 100% the game. But was collecting Koroks only to 100% the game? Definitely not. Anyone who's played Zelda knows you have to upgrade your inventory stash. You need more weapon stashes and you need more shield stashes. And you have to go visit Hestu and give him those Korok seeds, man. You don't have to collect all 999 of the Korok seeds, but you absolutely need them for your game. Why do I need the stickers? And look, I'll just jump ahead and say that what you've now asked fans to do is to watch this direct and to take this realm of like kind of hope dicting, predicting what's going to happen. Hoping for, oh, well, maybe they'll reveal it later. Maybe there will still be unlockable characters like Funky Kong, and they're just not showing us yet. Maybe they're not showing us yet. Maybe they're saving it. Maybe they want us to discover it. Look, I would love to sit here and say that. And that's what I did for Mario Kart Tour for so many examples, man. Maybe they're going to add this. Maybe they're going to add that. So you're creating this window, this sliver, where the window is smaller, right? You have to hit a smaller target now. Maybe they'll add it in 6 months. When they should have just told us now. They should have just said, they don't even have to show us more characters. They don't have to show us things. They don't have to reveal everything. But all you have to do is say in that trailer, who knows what other characters you might find. That's all you have to say. You can add the characters a year later in DLC. You can add them. You can add more tracks. We're not even talking about more tracks and islands and worlds. Let's just talk about characters like basic Funky Kong, Diddy Kong, King Bob-omb. How do you not have King Bob-omb in the game, man? And you have a freaking conch door? That doesn't make any sense. So you have to say, oh, surely they're going to add them. But you're creating this narrow and narrow target that they have to hit. And you're thus raising the expectations even higher and setting yourself up for disappointment even more. So what have I learned from Tour? You just have to lower your expectations. You have to say, it's probably just this. It's probably just this. And can you be okay with that? And I can go around and I will get every single P-switch and I will get every costume and character, but dude, the potential was so high. And not just that, but it kind of makes you screwed for the future. Let's fast forward to 10 years from now when we've got the next Mario Kart game. Is this just going to have been a test run for the next Mario Kart game after this? You don't want that. You guys have been working on Mario Kart World for 10 years. Like, this is supposed to be the ultimate one, the one that sells the Switch 2. You know? And it's not even hard. It's not even hard to make P-switches and question blocks and coins unlock things. I'm not talking about coins on races. I'm talking about the Princess Peach medallions. Why can't 10 Princess Peach medallions unlock new carts? Why is it going to be coins through racing? Why can't you go find Nabbit out in the desert and he says, I need 1,000 coins in the next 5 minutes. I'm escaping blah, blah, blah. Help me get my treasure. Go get it. Dude, I could come up with like 100 missions for you. They're like story style. So easy, man. Every time you're on the SNES course, you got to race a Koopaling, and you beat them in the race and you unlock them. It's really not hard, man. And so I just have to ask myself, are they saving all this? And if so, why? This is when you tell us, this is when you sell people on this console. Oh, and now I'm sure some people are watching this and are like, yo, you're taking this way too seriously, man. You need to chill. No, who cares? It's a great game. I care. And that's all I care about on this channel is I'm telling you what I care about. And I know there's people out there that agree with me. So this is a safe space for you. Skipping over this entire section of characters, main important characters, and then going to these really minor baddies doesn't make any sense. Unlocking them through food also doesn't make sense. The costumes. Unlocking characters through Kamek doesn't make sense. I'm already giving you a huge pass by saying, okay, you're taking Kamek out of the game as a playable character and turning him into an item. Okay, I guess I'll go with that. I guess I'll accept that the coolest driver that you just made a big deal of adding to Tour and 8 Deluxe is going to be an item now. Okay, I'll give you this a chance. But then you're saying that's how you unlock all baddies? That's what the website in Japan confirmed this morning. And you throw in the rewind feature on top of this. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because not only is it just dumb. Okay, I get it. You're going to practice your tricks and your shortcuts. I could say that philosophically that's a dumb idea, because what's wrong with missing the shortcut and having to try again the next time? That's how you build skill. Okay, you can accelerate it by rewinding and doing it 100 times. Doesn't that take out all the stakes of trying to get better and racing? I don't know. It creates all sorts of problems with... Obviously, it's not going to happen in multiplayer because it ruins everything if you can just bag, reverse, get into last place, get a lightning and a blue shell over and over again. But if I'm in single player and I can still do that, and if you're telling me all I got to do to unlock Rainbow Road is finish all cups, I can get gold on all cups in the first weekend of this game. Maybe I'll be proven wrong and it'll be way harder than that, but based on history, if you're a skilled Mario Kart player on any basic level, you can unlock all the cups pretty quickly and get gold. Maybe not 3 stars or 5 stars on everything. That took a while in Mario Kart 8, but if I just have to get gold to unlock Rainbow Road, okay, then answer me this. Why can't in single player, I just rewind at the last item set until I get a lightning every time and get gold, get first place? Rewind until I roll the item I want. Why can't every time I get a food bag, I can't hit rewind? If I don't get the costume I want, rewind. Get the food bag again. If I don't get the character I want, rewind. Rewind, 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 rewind. If I don't get the mission I want, rewind. If I don't clear the mission, rewind. That rewind thing is... I don't even have words to say. It's like, it's just... I'm really trying to think about that. Why can't I rewind until I get the unlockables that I want? Whether it's food or a Kamek thing. Keep re-rolling Kamek until you unlock Goomba. You know? Let's say I get this game. I open it up. I go into single player. I get my first item set. Kamek unlocks something. It's a sidestepper. I don't want a sidestepper. Rewind. Rewind until I get Kamek again. Do it over and over and over until I get Goomba. 15 minutes later, I got Goomba. I haven't done any actual racing, any fun. You're just hacking the system. Tell me how that's not possible, and I will drop this point. Tell me how that's not possible. I'm waiting. Please, someone tell me how that's not possible. Meanwhile, you could have just unlocked characters and carts through single player and free roam. And it would have been awesome. You know, race from, deliver this package from Peach's Castle to Sky High Sunday. Peach is having an ice cream festival. Deliver this food to Sky High Sunday in the next 20 minutes. Okay, go do it. You unlock Toadette Ice Cream Head. It's bringing back all these PTSDs of Mario Kart Tour where the ideas are so simple and obvious and don't even take that much brain power to think of. So I wanted to just kind of air that out because I was looking around YouTube and it really did validate and vindicate that it's okay to be disappointed. Because, man, I'm looking at some of the reactions to that Mario Kart Direct and they are savage. You have every right to savagely critique what they're showing so far. And if you're saying it's all now hanging on them releasing stuff later, that's a big... You're making that bullseye even more narrow, and you're creating even further expectations. And are you ready to be let down by those even higher expectations? Or do you want to just call it and say, nah, I can't do that. I can't put myself through that emotional roller coaster. And I'm kind of here to say, I don't think I can do that. I can't do that again like we did with Tour. I can't be here and coming up with so many easy ways they could have improved the game with very little extra development costs or resources in order to sell the future of the Nintendo in their next console. All that said, I'm going to be there. I cannot wait to pre-order. I cannot wait to play it. I cannot wait to explore. And yeah, I'll get every damn sticker, even if it doesn't do anything. I will do it because I want to see what Nintendo is doing. I always want to see how they want me to experience it. I want to experience it just as it is. And that's absolutely what I'm going to do. And I'm going to love it. But it's okay to be disappointed. If you're a fan that wants the best out of the thing you love, it's not only okay and valid, I believe it's important. So do that. Do that. And yeah, until next time, if there is a next time, I guess I'll do a overview. If there's an overview trailer, I'll probably come back on here. I didn't know I would make another video today. I wanted to keep this right at 30 minutes. So we're at 29:30. I'm gonna go on a bike, have some brunch and with my friends and go on a bike ride. But you know, let's see if Nintendo still makes this a beautiful experience. And why am I not jump tricking through the whole race? That's another question in the chat, in the comments. Why would I not jump trick through the entire race, parkour style? If it gets you a boost, why would you just drive? Why wouldn't you just hop trick through the entire track? I guess that's what we're doing now, and that's okay. We go from Mario Kart Tour to Mario Kart Parkour. But, let's wait and see. But it's all okay. Feel your feelings. Sound off in the comments below. Pre-orders went live. Not live, but they announced them just now. Pro Controller's $885 Freedom Bucks. Big ask. It's a huge ask. And the potential is so high. You're justified to want greatness. Whether it's your basketball team or your favorite video game franchise, or yourself and the people you love. Strive for greatness. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, and it's human to be fallible and to miss the mark. I'll be the first to say that. But Nintendo is not understanding what fans want. Again, there's not a blanket catch-all for what fans want, but for what I'm observing, they've missed a certain mark. So let's see how much of that can be salvaged, and if we can have a great game experience anyways. And maybe they do got a bunch of tricks up their sleeves. I would love nothing more than to have that happen and be pleasantly surprised. And I'm gonna love the game exactly for what it is, because I love this franchise more than almost anything non-human, non-cat that I've ever loved. So that's where this is coming from. And I hope you appreciated this take. And that's all. We'll see you in the next one, whenever that one may be. Y'all have a great one. Bye.